he has created an education environment and an education system and education policies that is currently making Indian students more and more globally competitive, more and more capable to take and pursue the opportunities that are emerging in the coming years.
Sir, what are the main changes?
No, number one is the expansion. That is, we have now, like I said, 275% growth in the number of universities, number of Indian universities in the QS World Ranking between 2014 and 2023. Number one. Number two, that the employer reputation or the employer credibility with Indian universities is at an all-time high. In Asia, Indian universities are seen as the best. Number three, now increasingly, apart from the IITs and the IISCs, triple ITs and private universities are also entering the ranking, which means there is a across the board improvement in higher education in India, thanks to Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji's policies.
Sir, IIT Bombay has grown 150 universities, attaining the highest ever rank of 147 in US World University. How do you say?
No, look, we are proud. I think it is, as Indians, we are proud, and more importantly, for Indian students and the generation of Indian students that are students today, the fact that Indian universities are today world class means less and less Indians will have to travel abroad to get high quality education, and that Indian education now is not just good, it is amongst the world's best.
Sir, one question related, long delayed fourth runway at IBI airport will finally become operational from July 30. You will comment on this?
No, look, I think opening of a fourth runway in the IGI airport, as you were asking me, points to the increase in traffic, the increase and expansion of the Indian aviation sector, especially now that we have come out of COVID. And the most important thing, that two airlines, Indigo and Air India, have recently given the world's largest aircraft orders. This is a far cry from the UPA days when airlines could only survive because they were crony capitalists that were connected to government. You know the legendary Kingfisher issue. You know how Jet Airways survived. So today the Indian aviation sector is seen by the world as one of the most orderly, fastest growing aviation sectors in the world. Along with that, with the UDAN scheme that the Prime Minister has launched, aviation is increasingly becoming affordable even for those people who are living in smaller towns and in villages. So aviation in India is really now a means of connectivity and communication, and it's affordable for the Aam Aadmi or the mass traveler, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has in the last 9 years achieved this.
Sir, my question now, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday, he addressed all youth karyakartas, Mera Booth Sabse Main. And he spoke about several topics like triple talaq, whether it's UCC, and now the way opposition attacked regarding the particular main issue, that UCC. How you look at it?
No, look, the Honorable Prime Minister yesterday addressed the truth and the truths about the politics that the opposition has inflicted on India for the last 75 years. The opposition parties are today a collection of parties that have all got a deep track record of corruption and exploitation, and a deep track record of fear-mongering amongst the minorities and keeping the minorities underdeveloped, keeping Muslim community in fear, creating these divisions through their propaganda. So what the Honorable Prime Minister has said is a mirror to the face of the opposition parties, and they are of course perturbed, they are of course concerned, because their entire politics rests on corruption, rests on the issues of these false guarantees, and rests on the issue of fear-mongering and keeping the minorities divided. And the Prime Minister has said very clearly that our party, our government is a party that believes in the development of all Indians, sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabka vishwas. And he has said that he as a leader and BJP as a party of whom he is a leader will certainly expose the corruption of all of these opposition parties who have a long illustrious track record in history of corruption, and the people deserve to know about this corruption and be reminded about this corruption and exploitation every day.
Sir, what do you think Why opposition this in particular is the object?
No, because their politics depends on vote bank politics. Their politics does not depend on what the constitutional principles are or constitutional values are of equal rights for equal citizens. Their politics of vote bank politics is about pretending to offer certain groups of citizens in our country a special deal because of their politics, because of their party's thinking. And our Prime Minister and our Constitution repeatedly talks about equal rights for all Indian citizens. No discrimination for any citizens for or against. And therefore, these basic fundamental principles of our Constitution go to the root of vote bank politics that these political parties have built their edifice on for the last 75 years. So it is important to have these discussions. It is important to have the truth be revealed to the people about what these political parties and their ideologies really mean and where they are vis-a-vis the Constitution of India.
On this, regarding these DMK's leader, what should be implemented for Hindu religion first?
Look, I think it is not necessary for us to get into a debate match with a party like DMK, who on one hand is a shining example of all that is wrong with dynasty politics, has a huge illustrious track record of corruption and exploitation of the kind that has never been seen in this country, whether it's a 2G scam or the recent revelations by their own finance minister about the corruption in the Stalin family. So I think this is typical dog whistling by the DMK, that when there is an issue that is being put forth about how they do vote bank politics, they will try and distract this either to a discussion of Hindi versus Tamil or Hindu versus Muslim. This is classic vote bank politics. This is classic politics to distract the people of Tamil Nadu away from the real issues that the Honorable Prime Minister and the BJP is putting forward, which is equal rights for all citizens of India, the values of the Constitution being respected by everybody, and putting an end to corrupt politics, dynasty politics, and vote bank politics.
The way now we have seen that all the opposition parties someday, do you think it will really work? Because many states we have seen internal fight as well.
No, look, and this is what the Honorable Prime Minister said yesterday. It is for the people of India to decide if you want to vote for Mulayam Singh's son, Sharad Pawar's daughter, Lalu Prasad's son, Karunanidhi's son, or do you want to vote for development of your own family, of your children's future? So this is the stark choice between in front of the people of India in 2024. Do you continue to support those who have lived off corruption, who have lived off vote bank politics, and who are symbols of dynasty politics, or do you continue the path of development? Do you continue to build a better future for our youth and for the coming generations of Indians?
Sir, another question regarding Mr. Rahul Gandhi. He will visit the relief camps and interact with and many questions raised by the opposition regarding Manipur is now burning and PM is visiting there, and such kind of questions are raised by the opposition.
Look,
what is your comment?
No, my comment is that I expect Rahul Gandhi to do the same type of vulture politics that he is famous for. He will either go abroad 5 times a month and tear down the Indian democracy, or he will go to where the people are suffering and distress and use that as a photo opportunity for his vulture politics. The issues in Manipur, the fault lines in Manipur, as our government has repeatedly explained, are historic. And these are not something that happened recently. Our government, our Home Minister has already spoken on the issue, so therefore I will not speak anymore on that issue. But for Rahul Gandhi, it is yet another opportunity to do his vulture politics. He is the kind of person if there is any bad news in India, or if there is any bad news about India, the first man who will celebrate is Rahul Gandhi, because it gives him one more opportunity for his vulture politics.
One different question regarding PUBG. Nowadays we have, you yesterday spoke about this PUBG, and we have also the Uttar Pradesh CM also spoke about this, that religion change now one of the way to the online gaming is booming, and how they are attracting the students and youngsters. How government of India look into this particular issue?
See, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is a believer in the youth of India. He believes that the youth must have more and more opportunities to succeed and to prosper. And he has opened up the internet in many, many ways, including online gaming. However, he is equally clear that the internet should be safe and trusted. It should not create user harm. It should not create addictive behavior for our youth. And it should not clearly be used by people to exploit people. Therefore, our government and our department is very focused on the issue that whatever is available on the Indian internet is safe for all Indians and is trusted by all Indians. And any platform, including gaming platforms that violate this concept of user harm, violate the concept of addiction, violate the concept of exploitation will not be permitted in India. That is 100%. We are very clear on this, and that is the direction that our Honorable Prime Minister has given us, and we will certainly be very, very clear about enforcing it.
Sir, any plan, anything that going to take that control all these things?
So we have already come up with IT rules. We are looking at a new legislation called the Digital India Act, which will certainly make sure that all platforms, games, or anything that causes harm, that causes exploitation, that causes addiction, will not be permitted on the Indian internet.
Thank you so much.
ഏറ്റവും പുതിയ വാർത്തകളും വിശേഷങ്ങളും വിരൽത്തുമ്പിൽ അറിയാൻ സീ മലയാളം ന്യൂസ് എല്ലാ ഡിജിറ്റൽ പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോമുകളിലും